Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games, and as always we'll start with EVE Online, which has been another maintenance week. I honestly did not play that much, although I did come online every day. I got a couple of those daily challenges to just grab a couple or kill a couple of NPCs, and then you get some free skill points, so that in classical style at this point has been completed by just finding a couple of anomalies, running them, and then also letting my salvage drones do their job. So I completely clean out the site, bring that back, and that's basically it. I did do DPI every single day, of course. That's something that's just on a 24-hour cycle, so that's pretty easy to do. And I also had a BPC run to do, so I completed the industry jobs, set new jobs, so that we keep producing more BPCs, and then went back to Amar for the contracts. A bit of a mixed picture actually. I had a lot of contracts to make, but I also lapsed on a few of them. So I'm still not sure what to make of it. I hope that CCP's dev blog about what's coming up until FanFest might just spark a little bit more interest, because they did mention in the live stream that they are looking at some more rebalancing of the blueprints for larger ships, including making, I think, dreadnoughts cheaper. So I'm kind of hoping that dreadnought BPCs might become a little bit more popular and easy to sell at better margins. But overall, I'm still pretty happy. Prices have definitely gone up from the low points of a couple of months ago, and so we got somewhat decent margins on all blueprint copies that we're making. It's just a matter of being able to move product, which is still pretty slow. And yeah, on that 14 days that you have for contracts, I'm actually lapsing in somewhere. There's absolutely no buyers, despite the fact that I come in with the lowest price whenever I set up my contract. So it's still a mixed picture, but I'm kind of hoping that the announcements can make for better times when it comes to my BPC business. Other than that, of course, eyes are forward at what's coming next. So we got some major battleship buffs that's going to be very interesting, I think, for the Rattlesnake and for the Praxis. And those are my two favorite battleships, you know, that aren't too expensive, right? Golem is, of course, in a league of its own, and it's also getting all of those buffs. But Rattlesnake and Praxis are basically the budget ways of going for a PvE battleship that's really strong, with, of course, the shields, the launchers, and then the drones. I love that combination. For me, that's the winning combination for PvE, and so that is what I've been focusing on. And yeah, those battleships will potentially, especially the passive ones, get very big buffs, because all of those shield extenders are going to get buffs as well. So we'll see how that works out. Haven't found any time for the Guardians Gala. I'm gonna make the excuse. It's pretty busy at my work. I'm actually having to do trainings for other people in my new job, so quite a bit of stress, quite a bit of preparations and things like that to do, that do eat into my time and energy. But overall, I'm clearly looking forward to what's coming next, and I do think that CCP has a lot more planned when it comes to FanFest itself, because you know, I did mention that in the video that I made about the dev blog. A couple of words dropped at the end there that I really like, that I think will change things up quite substantially. The word expansion dropped and the word story dropped, so I'm kind of hoping that CCP has basically taken the time when they've been more in maintenance mode for the game as well, to develop a new storyline and to make bigger plans for some cool stuff, some expansion stuff, in order to build a little bit more hype than on just a regular 3 months cycle with the quadrants that we've been at so far. So looking forward to all of that, and of course I'll keep you guys up to date as CCP comes out with more news. This does mean that I spent some more time in Path of Exile as well, still playing my Cyclone character with the passive healing, and it's going really well, because just yesterday my first red map dropped, and I have basically not died since I managed to get the setup going, even in like tier 10 maps, so the top, the higher end yellow maps. I use, I'm not sure what, the Orb of Alchemy I think it is, to make them yellow, because you have to do that in order to get the extra points point for the new passive skill tree. I'm focusing a lot, of course, on map drops as well. Sustaining those is not my forte at the moment, but it's going better and better. We're getting more and more map drops, sometimes even for a higher tier, so we get chances for a lot of stuff. And the other thing that I took there was actually Ritual. I kind of like Ritual. I think it's pretty intense, but you get a nice choice of rewards, and it can be pretty much anything, like oils that are sometimes hard to get. But now the last item that I actually deferred is actually an Exalted Orb, which I'm hoping that on one of my next rituals I'll just be able to extract that, because I do still need some better gear. But so far, the tankiness, the passive healing from getting hit, and I'm getting 6% back 3 times from 3 of my flasks does work very well. Just have to make sure that my buffer is high enough, and then we can basically focus a little bit more on damage and run the content that way, which is exactly what I have been doing. There is quite a few more skill points that I might want, despite the fact that I think I'm level 87 or 88 I think it is at this point. A couple more for life nodes that I actually didn't know they were there, but they're life with evasion. And then there's 2 dual sockets that are pretty close, just 2 points out. So we can basically keep going even in the 90s and get some good skill points, some good upgrades for the character. But the next difficulty is basically gear. I do think if I want to progress even further into the game, I'll need like some Exalt level gear to improve massively on both my HP and my damage. And so then you need some I think some really specific stuff that might, for instance, do a certain curse on hit, or that helmet enchantments and things like that. But overall, I've been able to make progress way further into endgame, into mapping, than I can usually do with Path of Exile. And I do really think a big part of that are these changes, because then another map drops that I haven't seen before. All right, I can increase my map dropping capabilities just for running maps, and it's snowballing into, I got a lot of maps at this point, but it feels very rewarding. And also, of course, combining two build guides, basically the one for the passive tank and then the other one for a physical based cyclone damage build. It has helped quite a lot, although I haven't jumped into Path of Building or anything like that. It is working, and it is pretty damn fun to do so. Although I will again do make that mention, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep playing. I mean, I managed to keep playing the whole week, which is really great, but the grindiness is just a reality that does hit you when you get to that real end game. But for now, I'm still playing and enjoying Path of Exile. Although I'll also be honest, I have been thinking about maybe I want to start a new character, try another ability or something like that. But it's just so strong. It's clearly the best character I've built so far, that I have been able to stick to my Cyclone character at this point. And I'll keep you guys up to date, of course, on all of that as well. For now, that's it for my last week in games. Don't really have any big plans for next week, because I still have quite a bit of stuff to do for work. So that's it for this one. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.